Because I mean, I feel like if I get these 4 cards out, I probably can't lose. Whereas if I trade here, I lose one of them if he settles, which is a big problem. But trading, I get my cards 1 round earlier, which is a huge deal. So if it doesn't settle, trading is amazing. I don't know, I guess on bounce I should just trade. In the long run, it's got to be the better play. Unfortunately, he does settle. So I guess I'm playing New Vinland, chucking these 2. Hoping to draw into like a 1-cost production world to go with this. Artist Colony, speaking of which, one of these would have been nice. I mean, I already have a 6-point engine once I get this out, so it's still fine. Fortunately, I'm 1 card short of playing it right now. Trendsetters. Interesting. 4.2 card engine or 6-point engine with an open consume power. Either way, I will explore +1/+1 in case he settles. Very aggressive. Settle round 1, dev round 2. Pretty aggressive for a 2-player. So we have a shitty production world. Expensive. In any case, we keep these 2 for sure. Maybe not for sure. This is like a cheaper production world. Oh no, we need military though. Like, is there any way we ever play this? I feel like that if I was super genius, I could probably figure out that this is a better keep. But I'll keep these. Dev, we presumably pass because it just gets in our way of settling our engine. Like if we play this, we're down to 1 card, so it doesn't really work. Down to 2 cards if we do this also doesn't really work. Devs for export duty, so now we're certainly going to settle so that we can just set up our engine and go. He explores. Get a nice consume power and a leech. So which one's better? Presumably playing Tourist World here. So we're gonna have extraneous consume powers. So I feel like I just keep this subtle leech. AI is more likely to settle in the future anyways. No guarantee that I'm actually keeping this here anyways, but this is a pretty sick opening. He's gonna trade for 4 next round? Like, Jesus. And he has a produce leech, draw 3, or chip and card if he wants. So, pay 4, keep 2. Probably like this. Keep the production world, although it's super unlikely we ever get this out. We'd have to trade on the first produce. And then a leech. Could also explore, theoretically. He has 4 cards in hand after all this. 3 1-cost cards. Easy game. Explore or produce. There's no way I'm produce trading. Explore produce is not bad, because then we could leech this on a settle. Whereas if we just produce here, we're basically, our score is going to be 24-27. But 1 round sooner. It's round 4 now. Produce 5, x2. Produce x2, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 round game. It's probably pretty quick. And this is only 1 card more expensive than a 1 cost anyway, so the fact we're not using consume power is probably not too bad. And we have a good settle leech. I'm just going to try it this way. I think this is the better way, but not 100%. And he's building again, interestingly. And now we x2 and go from there. You even got to produce leech out, Jesus. I don't know about this. So what did he do there? Traded. He has a nice fat hand, thick hand. X2. Pass on settle. This is looking sketchy. So 2 more rounds. He keeps building. We've done 8 rounds and he's called 6 build phases. That is insane. And then final round, maybe, probably. Yeah, like how do I win here? He can X2, well okay, if we both X2 I win. So there's at least that. So he has to make something happen out of his 3 card hand, so we might actually win here. He trades. Does that mean it doesn't end? Well, that's interesting. Tricky, tricky. I'm only up by 5 and he has an 8 card hand. Scary. He didn't build though. Produced? Well, that's interesting. How could that possibly be correct? Answer can't. So if I X2 I go to 29, he needs to score 11 points minus the 3 here, so he needs 8 points out of a dev phase. If he plays Free Trade Association, it's 6 points effectively. So even probably the best possible card here doesn't win it for him. I doubt I'm forgetting anything important. What else is there? In any case, I have only one play here. X2, he settles. Combat Zone doesn't do anything, so I guess he just did not draw into anything that worked. So we did win. But that was a little scary. So, 2-player win against AI. I have played a few games, I guess, early on. Yeah, probably 1 or 2 sessions is all. The first few days I started streaming or something. Score 29-23. And I'm kind of curious to replay it from the... There was something I wanted to replay there, so I'll try. So like here, what happens, I call settle, play that as standard. Round before, called explore. Which is probably fine as well. And the round before, I traded, right. So I guess the question is, the round 1, if I explore +1/+1 instead, how does this game go? So we'll try that. Discard 1. This is kind of redundant. So is this, to be honest. So settle this, pay 2. Now we would trade. You see, we're still in the same predicament. I have to explore to leech to settle. But he doesn't. So now I could trade, right? Certainly. The explorers, I'm going to overflow here. By 1. And then now I just start settling. Presumably. I get this out. This is really good. This and this does what? 3 goods, 3 consumes, so 6 point, 3 card engine. That should be enough to win with a backup of this. So I guess we would start with this because it's so good. Plus he might dev into us next round. Get us one card off of this from that. He settles, we settle. Nice, got a leech. Pay 4. You can keep slightly bigger stuff because we're going to be drawing a decent amount of cards. Certainly need to keep this. This could be good later. This as well. I have to pay 4, so bye bye. Bye. Seems good. And produce. I mean, that's the phase he called, so I guess I have to play it probably like that. X2. The X2s as well, interesting. That seems like that can't be right. So now I could discard 2 for chips, but will he settle? If I take 2 for chips, there's 11 in the pool, and on another X2 I take another 8 down to 3. But I could leech a Prosperous World if I don't. It's probably better to just convert everything into points. There's no guarantee he's going to settle. I mean, it's probably 60% that he will or something, but... He does indeed settle, unfortunately. So that would have been 3 points, or 4 points for 4 cards. So it's the same thing, effectively. So it's... Unless I don't run out of cards to discard, which is probably going to be the case. I'll have extra cards. So X2, final round maybe. There's Free Trade Association. But I mean, he has 1 card in hand, I'm up by 5. Like, he X2s, that's weird. I guess he has to hope I don't X2 kind of thing. No, it doesn't make any sense, because he would lose. By X2ing here, it doesn't he guaranteed lose? He gets... Let's say I do anything, explore. I would get 3 to 27, and he gets 6 to 25. So I'm very surprised AI is X2ing here. Because that doesn't really fit with what I've seen it do in spots where it would guaranteed lose. It would usually do something esoteric, like explore +5 or produce or something weird, but not cement its guaranteed loss. So I don't know about that. It's weird. Okay, so consume 2 cards, discard. So 32-25 instead of 29-23, so basically exactly the same thing. Alright, let's play a new game. So, good card, good card. Decent card. Yellow combo. And then, I mean, this fits with this, and if ever we get a second military, it's amazing. Seems good enough for me. Now, we could dev. Exploring, probably better. Just to get a leech out. And then start deving. If we dev and pass on settle, we could settle next round. No, I wouldn't have enough cards. So you could settle a big world here and produce next round and we can't do anything about it. And that's problematic. I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot of explore +1ing on round 1. You naked trades, which is pretty interesting. So discard 1, we don't really need a second one of these. Now we just start deving, because we have this. So if I do this and this, I go down to 1 card, which is fine. Oh, don't really care about any of this. This is all I need. And this gets me a card sooner. Which doesn't really matter, because the only way it could matter is if I drew credits, but I would play this first anyway. Whereas this may let me keep one more card if he explore +1s next round. So I guess I'm supposed to play this first here. Interestingly. Either way, I see new card. It's just before or after. And this one lets me save one now. Pretty sure this is the play here. And settle this. Paying 2. Keep the production world. Oh, he has a windfall. I don't like that. Well, we're up 2 tempos, but now what? I'd imagine we explore. We could dev. Dev gets us the same thing. But I mean, explore lets us leech a settle and stuff. I think I'm gonna explore here. G-Fed. Jeez. I mean, if I want to keep this combo, I have to discard this, so that's not really happening. So I guess we do that. And do we settle? I don't know if we even do, actually. Maybe we were supposed to produce there, actually. I felt like there was a decent chance he would produce himself, but he had 6 cards in hand, so maybe not. And yeah, like, we need to produce so bad. That's probably a mistake. Not really used to 2-player, non-advanced. That was probably a newbie mistake, exploring instead of producing there. And I mean, settling this is just going to slow us down to get this out, and it's not doing anything at the moment, so I'm just going to actually pass. And yeah, like now when we produce, he gets more out of it than we do. So we get 2 cards per action, and he gets 3 for 1 action. So we cannot produce now. Now he's going to punish us with settles. I guess he would have still got that good. So the produce last round would not have even been good anyway, but it could have been if he didn't have a settle phase, which happens sometimes. So discard 1. Probably that. Pass on settle again. Okay, if I dev now I can play G-Fed and then dump my hand down to 0. Not sure that's good though. I really don't like how this is going. Could also just cycle with Contact Specialist, which also isn't great. But I mean, I'm drawing 2 cards. I should be deving if I can dev. So deving this is better than exploring, isn't it? Because I gain 2 cards instead of 1. Plus I save a card on that. So yeah, definitely. I might have even been supposed to dev Space Marines. Space Marines is break even. But Contact Specialist is profit. So I can dev this, end up with 6 cards, then go to 7, dev this, down to 2. Dev trade. Dev produce, alright. Certainly play G-Fed. Pay 5, keep 1. There's no way he's gonna dev into me, so whatever. Just trade next round and not worry about what I keep here, but what do I want the round after? So no, no, no. SETI or robots? I will trade to 6. Dev to 7. -4 is 3, 4. So I have 4 cards after deving if I play a 6 dev, so that seems fine. Trade. Doesn't even X2 here or whatever. Now we're tied on tempo. He has 6-point engine now. Convenient that I traded the run. He could have X2'd. Dev. He produces, so now he has a 6-point engine. Produce X2, produce X2, produce X2, 6 more rounds. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Produce X2, produce X2, produce X2. So I could hit 12 cards, so that can't be bad. So playing this probably. I could go like dev, dev, settle, settle. We'll see. Although playing this, I'm losing a bunch of these things. So keep this, this, this. This is basically 3 cards for 2 points. 3 points. 3 cards for 3 points. 2 cards for 2 points, but it's gonna get more later. So it's definitely better. Don't really want to play a card that I crack. I don't know if keeping this is worth it though, so let's see. I go to 4 here. If I dev, I go to 5, 4, 5, discard 2 to 3. Settle, 2, 1, 2, produce happens. So there's no way I can get this thing out. Should I do this? So I guess I'm supposed to settle here then. It's a really good card and I get an extra chip. He has 2 cards in hand. This is also good. I mean, this is the consumer round, so I should probably settle this and then... Well, I'll do that later. Dev this, discard the 2 cards I get a chipping card back as well. I'm just gonna do it this way. He produce here. What the fuck? So if I'd known that, does that change anything? I guess I would settle. Well, that's a really weird play. Whoops. What happened there? Very surprising that it produced there. Like, what? Does it think I'm actually... I guess it's expecting me to trade. I could trade now. Although, again, that might be playing into what he wants. I don't need to. I can just, like, play a bunch of settles. Seems pretty good. No reason. He has 2 cards in hand. Like, why would I do anything but settle here? Well, that's an amazing 6 dev. So, don't mind if I do. Settle. He didn't consume. These are both free. This is more points. Actually, they're both the same number of points. No, this is 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3. But this is more because of the good. Potentially. Settle or dev now. There's 1 card in hand, so in case he consumes. Either way, it should punish him. There's a chance he'll produce here. I think he's gonna consume here finally, so I'm gonna dev. Yeah, called it. So play that, discard 3. So what's the difference here? This is a 2-1, this is a 2-2. Go like that, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that was wrong, actually. Too late. Saw a new card. Because yeah, if he ever dev'd into me, I'd want to have that. I don't need 3 settles, it's pointless. 2 build phases, or 2 open tableau spots. So draw and consume for chip and card. Consume for chip. I mean, now there's no way we can possibly lose. Discard for chips. This is now a 1, 2, so it's just strictly better than that. And we would probably dev. Although do we have to dump our hand for this? Maybe we settle and then dev. How does the math work? So 4, 5 minus 4 is 1, 2. So actually we can settle, or sorry, dev first. And that produces on this, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, we can't lose here. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Pay 3. So how does this work? If I do that, I can play this. So that's good. What do I draw and produce? Nothing. So 1 after dev. Oh no, this is dev phase. I draw 1. Pretty crazy. I mean, this is insane for 2p. Pretty sure. Like, holy crap. Massacre. Skunked. Nice. So, 2-player win. Nice thing about 2 players, it's really easy to record the results. I don't think there's anything I want to replay here. Is there? Right, there's that produce round. Let's try that. Might as well. But I mean, this is insane. 4 6 devs and 2p. Like what? How many rounds of game was that? 14. I mean, I guess that's like 7. I don't know. I don't know how to compare that to a normal amount. Oops. So we back up to probably round 2 or 3. This is so. Yeah, like how am I not producing here? This is the dumbest shit ever. So like this round I dev'd, which is just bad. I didn't look at what he built really. Like I didn't assess the situation. I don't play a lot of, if at all, of 2-player, normal 2-player. So in hindsight, this is completely ridiculous to not produce here. Especially since if he trades like I would expect him to, I have to dump my hand for this thing, and then I have nothing to do with the next round. Like holy fuck. So bad. So we'll produce here and see. I mean, it's not gonna. It's gonna be, if anything, way better. Keep that. Trade that. Like this is the way to correctly play the game, and the incorrect way skunked him. And then now we would just start deving. So we have 2, 3, 4 base military, theoretically. Pretty much half the dev. He devs into us. Doesn't really make sense. But AI doesn't always make sensible plays, or what seems like sensible plays. Dev now is pretty good, I guess, for this, because we draw cards and reduce costs. We're getting some military stuff. Oh, what? We need 2 more military though, and like we're running out of ways to get it. In the base game there's not that much. There's Expedition Force, which he has 1 of. Sparta, which we discarded. The 3/2 green, which doesn't get us to this anyway. NGO. There's like NGO and dropships left. 3 cards in the deck, so I don't know. And playing this we have to chuck one of these things too. Playing this we have to chuck 3 of them. So ironically, yeah, maybe I was supposed to produce again. You can try that. Does this actually help me for the moment? The answer is no. So I guess I have to play this and just forget most of the military. Pay 2, I mean this is whatever. This goes from 5 to 7, so this is kind of redundant actually here. So I think this is the way to keep. You get like ATI or dropships or something. It could work. I mean, he's playing another windfall. We must produce here, presumably. Settle trade. We lose the tempo, but his settle's not great. Still military short of doing anything. And he still doesn't really have anything, so I guess we're just supposed to produce. He also produced? 3, 6, 8. We can both trade. If we both do, we both overflow by the same amount. So maybe I actually just X2 here, actually. Yeah, seems good to me. And he produced too, like how sick is that? If he produces every round, and I X2 every round, he gets 1 point, and I get 4 points in the card. Like, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Double produce in 2-player doesn't seem that good. Because, I mean, your opponent's never going to collude with you in a 2-player game, implicitly or not. So yeah, we X2. He didn't produce this time though. Either this, paying 3. It's kind of pointless to keep all this military stuff, but I mean, I guess I can keep this and chuck this kind of thing. No, this is pointless. So we can go like that. Consume. And I mean, we have the best engine. He has all windfalls, so we just produce. Funny how differently this game played when I realized I should produce on that round, and actually just end up producing and consuming the rest of the game. So dev, well, there's NGO. Huh. So I guess we. Does that work? I have to like trade. I could leech this. Yeah, it's okay. What else can I do? I said trade. Overflow by a couple. And then presumably dev. He settles. Such a weird game. It goes from like dev strat into engine into military. Like, what in the fuck is happening in this game? A lot of useless worlds. Settle, we can skip straight to this. And we can trade now. Oh, we don't really need to. We can just settle, and there's no way we lose. Well, yeah, he has no hand. Settle's good. Produce X2, he gets what? Nothing. Guaranteed win if we just settle. Two best worlds in the deck. Almost with this. So yeah, 42-22 with this. Which we won 48-23 the other way. What was the other thing? Right, maybe producing. So I can here where is it? So I guess this is where I produce. Yeah. So produce, trade, and then what if I produce again? He does thoughtfully. And settles. Pay 3. And so now he has a 4.1 card engine. I have a 4.1 card engine, but mine's on the leech. He draws on settle, I draw on dev. I have one more card in hand than him. I could dev this and settle this. I have a better engine, so I guess I would dev. Pay 2. So now what? So we're tied. I have more cards in hand than him. He has potential settle each to improve his engine. So I could settle. He would x2 for 4, I would get 3. But then I have a 6-point engine to his 4. I might call settle before his hand fills up a bit. I don't know, I think settle's probably good here. He trades, interesting. He passes on settle, so that's good. So now how does it look? So we're up by 3 now. We have almost the same hand size. I have a 6-point engine, he has a 4-point engine. I have a settle each. Dev is okay, I mean I draw on Dev and stuff, so I mean, there's no downside. Nice. So we're guaranteed going to still have the best engine. He goes to a 6-point engine, I go to an 8-point engine. Pay 3. Huh, combo here. But I mean, something like that. X2. Trendsetters in. And one more produce consume and it's over. He settles. Consume powers I have 1, 2, 3, 4 for 4 goods. And no other consume powers that are relevant, so I can just play this and go all in, I guess. 3, 6. Can't be bad. And the game ends. So this was not as good. This was like playing what looked like optimally. But yeah, as we played through this game enough, let's go to a new game. So, a couple of good cards. Okay card. Both garbage. Maybe. Probably useless. I mean, this is pretty useless. I guess it's still theoretically better. So I could trade, hoping he devs. But I mean, if I dev, I could dev, but if he trades on round 2, it would really suck. But if he doesn't, holy... I mean, what are the odds that he trades round 2? So like if I dev here and he plays a windfall on round 1, I can trade round 2 anyway. And not lose my goods, so... And also if he settles here, I could play this. Just to guarantee I have it out and then leech this. Dev seems pretty damn good. Does settle. So I guess I'm gonna have to play this. Passes on settle. So I guess it was a naked settle. No, what am I saying? That's dev. He passed on dev. Durr. Doesn't even have a windfall, so he wasn't going to trade next round. So I could have dev'd credits into this. In any case, we certainly trade. 4. Produce would get us nothing. Discard 1. Trade. So now we can produce to draw 2 cards, or we can trade to draw 2 cards. Produce is just strictly better. He spoiled, I guess? No, traded. Naked traded. Wow. Am I really ever settling in that spot? Come on now. 3, 6, 7. If I trade here, I overflow. I could settle now. We don't even mind the naked trade that much. This is okay too, actually. I don't really know how to play 2-player single action to like a super high level, because this is a pretty settled spot. Trading is likely to overflow. I don't really want to settle either though, because that's what he wants. I could x2, I could produce. If he naked trades, I get a chip and 2 cards. I mean, x2, there's not a lot of downside to x2. Shouldn't he be... Did he naked trade really last round with this card? Doesn't make any sense. Should just be settling. I mean, certainly this round he should be settling. Which means I want to trade. Go to 4, 6, 10. So if I can predict the settle here, trade is correct. I mean, I'm not sure, that's for sure. Produces. So I could do this one. To not overflow. Oh, I'm just fucking stupid. Lose my good that way. Well, 3, 6, 9. He doesn't get anything while he's doing this, so I mean, I don't really see a downside to producing. Trade League's interesting. Discard 2. So now I could play Trade League. I mean, I have 3 good Trade League devs, good settles, and if he naked trades, I benefit. Pretty happy with this. Explore. Consumer markets. I mean, Trade League's probably not even that good in 2-player. Non-advanced. It's not great in... Actually, it's better in non-advanced than in 2PE. Because there's more... You can have it consume actually every round. All 14 rounds or whatever, right? Instead of half of them. So this is kind of like in multiplayer in here. Which makes deficit spending better, I guess. But consumer markets is amazing. If we go blue, and I mean that's what we're doing, is we're going to go blue here. Right. Looks like. The other weird thing is that he's not necessarily going to even consume, so we're going to probably have to do it ourselves. But yeah, I mean, I'm playing this, pay 5. Keep this big world. Or just go blue, I guess. Trade is 5 cards, so I guess we'll do it. Well, there's the settle finally shows its face. What's first? This, I guess, because I keep more of these cards, and it's the same effect as playing a blue production world. Pay 1, maybe this, which is a bit crazy to think. Trade. So we have a 4-point engine. If I dev, I can leech 1 more like this. Go down to 0. Is he going to produce here? He might actually produce. He has 3 cards in hand. Merchant Guild, I guess, is pretty bad here. I'm just going to dev, honestly. Alright, well. Oh, it's only 4, right. Just go all in. Well, so we have a pretty crazy board. We draw oh, we're not going to draw off this anymore. That's interesting. He blocked us. Still though, pretty insane. We can X2 for 6, or we can get 4 cards and, sorry, 4 points and a bunch of cards. Like 4 or 5. Either way. So it's a 4.7 card engine or 6.2 card engine. So I guess 4.7 card has to be better. But he has his own trade league, so I'm not out of the woods. Trades 5, 5. Now we're up by 8. He has 6 cards. We have a big hand. Just produce. He settles. This increases our engine, whereas this does not. Probably play that, keep that. X2, presumably, for 8. Well, 6 and a bunch of cards. He devs, put in pressure. X. It's a little scary. We'll see. 11 chips in the pool. We're up by 9. He has a full hand. We have no dev to lead, so dev here is really bad. Of course he devs. G-Fed. Fucking hell. If we take 8 points, it doesn't end. This is awkward as fuck. Because we have no devs and he plays G-Fed. Like, can it be any worse? Ridiculous. I mean, we have the X2. Wow, he settles. So lucky. Settle. What? This is an okay settle. There's still another crank though. Actually, we can just do this and end it, right? Can he not end it? He has to put 1 in here. So he gets at least 1 chip. If I can get 10, it's over. So I can with this. So that's really what I'm going to do. Pay 1. And then end it. Not trading. That should do it. Yeah, win by 10. So 24. So I think I'm undefeated so far in this 2-player format. 3 games only. And is there anything worth replaying here? I could like do the dev perfect opening, but no need, no need. So I'll just start another game. Lots of Brown Worlds. This is trash, trash. The rest is okay. So what are we doing here in 2-player? This is not a huge priority. This is good. If I explore, go to 6 down to 2. I could just settle straight up. I could naked produce. But we've seen this 2-player AI make naked plays on round 1, so there's no. I don't really want to naked anything. The odds that he settles here doesn't seem that high. So it's either settle or explore. We don't really care that much about Interstellar Bank in 2-player. This is super strong. So I should probably just do that. I mean, he might explore, so I would keep that. Pretty happy just doing this. Unfortunately, he did settle, so he could have produced. And he has a really good settle. I don't like that. If I produce and there's a dev, I would get 5 cards out of 2 actions. And he would get 2 cards passively. So I guess it's worth it. I gained 3 cards for 2 actions. Is that even worth it? It's like produce trading a brown good. It's bad. Still profit though. And if ever he does dev, that's if he devs. If he doesn't dev, I get 2 cards per action, which is like trading a blue good. That I'm not so much a fan of. So I guess I have to explore here. Oh my god. Crazy how strong New Vinland is. So I had this, thought I had a great opening, but got blunted. So yeah, I guess now we just have to explore. So we actually have a military. Mini trade league, not terrible. Explore again in case, settle. This is like a, same as New Vinland kind of, well, it's not the same at all. It doesn't produce, but it turns this into a better New Vinland. Well, there's the settle. Presumably playing this. Go down to 1. This, it's funny how this little micro battle of settles is in 2-player. It's like, who can get out the quickest, best, most efficient settles the fastest. So I mean, certainly have to play this, and I guess keep this actually. Maybe. Spice World, not good. So he's beaten me on both. Although I mean, this is debatable. It's just, it's so strong that I can't produce. Doesn't mean that it's better or anything. They're about the same probably. Spice World is definitely better than this. Now we keep 1. And is this where he's going to produce? If he produce trades, he gets 7 cards out of 2 actions. I get 5 out of 1. So I mean, he still probably should not produce, but AI probably will. I mean, I can't explore and leech anything other than this. I think I keep this. Black market trading world. Export duties is trash anyways. This at least can do something. So if he produces, I could settle this next round. If I want. Make a trade. Wow. That's fucking ballsy. So discard 1. Well, I mean now we're laughing. Certainly dev. He produces cha-ching. Naked trades. I'll dev all day if you want to naked trade all day. I could just do this immediately. Go down to 0, produce, draw 3, and have a 6-point or sorry, 4-point engine, 4.2 card, 4.4 card engine. That's pretty sick. How could he possibly get ahead of that in the short term? So I think the best here has to be just to dev this immediately and go nuts. Like skipping around, like taking 1 round longer just to get this out. Could that really be worth it? In a sense, if he's going to make a trade every round, it's a free round in that nothing happens. He gains literally nothing if he naked trades. So I guess, interestingly, this is probably correct. Huh, that's fascinating. He's just giving me free builds. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. That doesn't really come up in multiplayer. But in 2-player it can, because there's only one opponent that could be whiffing rounds. As soon as there's a second one, it starts to get really rare that they both do absolutely nothing. Okay, well that's great. And now we produce and profit. Interesting that he settles now, because we have no hand, I guess, and there's going to be a produce. So we're not out of the woods. Huh. So he has a 4.2 card engine. We have a 4.4 card engine. We have one more card in hand than him. This is a great draw, because we have the consume power for it too. I wonder if he produces every round and I X every round, what happens? So I have an 8-point engine effectively, 4 every round, whereas he gets 2 every round, so that can't be bad. And then we draw about the same number of cards. In fact, I draw 1 more than him. So it seems like he's in a pretty bad position here. He trades, I guess that makes sense. Certainly produce. Don't want to see Dev, given that we have a good settle, but what can you do? Oh my god, what the fuck? Well, battle of the blue versus the brown, holy fuck. So now what? Now what's going on? So now he has a 6.3 card engine with tons of potential to increase, and I have a 4.4 card engine. Like, how does this happen? Oh my god, it's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Flip the table on me, that's for sure. It's like now I have to like settle or something, like to not just lose or trade. This sucks. I'm at a loss as to what to do here. Because I mean, it's not like I have a production world. Settling is just playing a windfall. It's not really impacting the board that much. Whereas this is mostly duplicating the consume powers. I'm gonna go this way. And we're gonna lose it here anyways, actually, so it doesn't really matter, unless he explores, but it seems pretty unlikely. Another thing that's interesting actually is I could keep this and then just produce here. And whatever build he calls on this round or next, we have a crazy engine. And it happens one round sooner. I think I'm gonna do that. Let's go with that. Pretty sick. So after all that setup, we didn't even play diversified. So are we winning? What's happening here? He has 8 cards in hand. We'll see. Another big fat world. He trades again. So, like, for every 2 rounds, he gets a fat world out. We get 8 points. So yeah, I like how this is going. He has to be playing 6 devs really to keep up with 8 points every 2 rounds. If he's like dev trade, dev trade, dev trade, he has to be playing an 8.6 dev every round to keep up. So yeah, this seems pretty damn good. Actually, it can be a pretty short game, 11 round game. Another fat settle? No, not so fat. He's running out. I mean, there's not that many in the deck, so even getting 2 is pretty good. Gets a 6 dev too, theoretically. Wait, trade? That's not what I clicked, or at least not what I intended to click. So 31-20. And is there anything worth replaying? We could try, I was gonna say could try deving diversified, but what's the point? It's 1 round earlier. Wait, what? I'm confused. Did he not play Mining Conglomerate? Am I losing my mind? I guess I'm probably just losing my mind. Could have sworn I saw Mining Conglomerate. Alright, let's just go to another game. Good card. Wow, very good card. Consume power and it can produce on a blue windfall, so I don't mind this card. Mostly irrelevant. Complete garbage. So, trade is fine. We can actually leech this and keep this, which is insane. Could theoretically play this if we really want to keep all our consume powers, which could easily be worth it actually. I think if there's a settle here, I'd probably play this. And then go to 5, settle, to 3, dev, something like that. And survivalists. Wow. Whole bunch of playable stuff. So we want to get 3 goods out and 3 consume powers. How do we do that? If we export a 7 and then dev, settle. Does that work? 7, 6, 3, No way for this to catch up to this, right? I need 3 chips for every point, so I need 18 chips. I'm getting 5 here, I need 13 more, there's no way. Oh, and I get one on a card on consume as well, I forgot. Crazy. And if I wanted to, I could draw 2 cards here. Huh. I could just draw 2 and then dev this. Leeches produce if he does that. That can't be bad. Like, how does he catch up to that? If he doesn't produce, he just plays some dinky settle. Then we produce and crank for more than him. Yeah, I mean... Sacrifice 2 points for 2 cards. That way I can X2 on the final round. Not have to call dev. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. So I'll draw 2, and then I'll just do this in the right order though, in case it matters. Did not matter. If ever he produces, we're laughing. Although, yeah, we're laughing because he only has 3 consume powers. Jesus, what the hell? How weird of a dev draw is that? Wow, FTA is 8 points, so it's as much as Merchant Guild. I think it's the same tie breaks, ironically. And this one, 2 brown goods is worth 4 right now, goes to 6. So it's plus 2, so it's a 7.6 dev. It's weird they're both the same and the same tie breaks. Is there any way to get both out? I guess if there is a way, it's by playing this one first, certainly. And I mean, we can leech any production world. So Merchant Guild is ever so slightly better. Does this make sense to keep? There's no way he's building. We're gonna draw 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. Crazy. We could call dev ourselves. Produce is a no-brainer, I think. He explores. We can actually play this thing. Ten card hand. Jesus. I mean, this is just ridiculous. So I guess the way to abuse him the most is by deving. If we dev that, we go to 5 cards after that. We could play this as a settle. If he settles, not that he would. And then on consume we get 5, he gets 6-ish. I'm just gonna dev. He devs. Wow, so we could have X2'd here. I mean, we still can X2 next round, but could have X2'd here and got the dev. Jesus. Pay 5. And I guess just X2 now. He dev'd Expedition Force, yeah. Talk about desperate. But yeah, whatever. He devs. Pay 2. And X2 for infinite. Nearly skunked. Well, not really, I guess. 50-29. Win. AI 2-player doesn't seem to be able to win at all. Now 6-0. Anything worth replaying? Surely not really. I mean, this is interesting, right? The opening settle. I might as well do it while we're here. Yeah, how many rounds was that actually? 14. Seems to be the top end. So round 1. So what did I do? Yeah, okay, so we could play Comet Zone instead and see how that goes. Just go for quality. I hope we draw into better. Yeah, it's definitely going to work out better. Similar to before. Still need another consume power though. If we dev doesn't work, so yeah, presumably explore +1 here. And dev. So I guess we would start with this. No, because of the cost. Play that. Pay. Oops. Not sure about this. This is very ugly. Interesting. Because he settled, everything's a lot worse. Maybe I should have played that. So now he has a 4-point engine. So presumably he'll produce, right? Unless he can still make another good play. We can't even explore Leech of Dev. We can. Explore, then Dev. Produce, then trade. This is awkward. I mean, if we produce in these devs here, it's so bad. It's far more likely to want to settle though. Like, dev can't really help him much. And if he settles, we're okay with that. Kind of. I don't really know how to play this spot. Fast forward if you're watching the VOD. If you're watching in real time, you're fucked. Produce trade gets us 4, 5, 8 cards for 3 actions. And by then he's producing again. Explore Dev. Not really sure. Dev then settle. It's pretty good. I need this out more than anything. Or like 3 of these. It's an 8-point engine. But how do we ever do that? Well, we get a card back here actually, so I think Dev's okay. We'll go with Dev. See how that works out. And then settle. And then settle. Interesting. Wow, he settles. What the fuck? Let's draw 2 unconsumed. Certainly play this. Pay 2. Plays a windfall. Weird. Oh, I can't afford this. Well, I mean, now I have the better... No, I don't have the better engine. I mean, I do by 1 card, but I'm down by 2 points. Can't settle. Explore, settle. Explore, produce. Explore or produce. Like, he seems pretty like a trade here, but he might not, actually. Because he gets a chip and a card out of it on the leech. Basically, to trade it costs you an action, so that's a card. So it's a chip and a card versus 3 cards. No, how does that work? You get a chip and a card out of no action. Yo, what's up, Wilkins? Good evening. What's up, man? How's it going? Yeah, if I get a chip and a card, I'm playing the most basic version of this game right now. 2-player. I haven't played any of that for a long time. It was me and one AI, Mano Aio. And so far, humanity is way in the lead. It's 6-0 for humans. But yeah, so if he leeches the consume, it's a chip and a card. If he trades, it's 3 cards, but at the cost of a card for an action. So it's basically 2 cards versus a chip and a card, and so it's not really that good to trade it. Interesting. So if he can, he's going to settle, and he just gained another military, so I feel like settle's decently likely. So I'm going to explore. He does indeed settle. Keeping like that, I guess. Settle that. I guess keep didn't matter. And here we go. So he can X2 now, which is a bit scary. He probably will. And then I produce, so he X2s again. So he gets 4, 8, it's 10, and I get 8. So basically I'm going to get 16 points, and he's going to get 4, 8, 12. So he'll be at 25, and I'll be at 27, all things being equal. It's going to be close. He devs? What the fuck? That's weird. Diversify, Jesus. That is a bit scary. Wow. So now he's up by 4, and he X2s for the same thing as I do. Jesus. And then he produces and X2s for 6, and me 8. So I go to 27, and he goes to 29, so he's up by 2. All things being equal. But yeah, chill music tonight, but feel free to song request whatever you want. It's just what I happened upon when I pressed shuffle and found something that I felt like listening to. Turned off shuffle. This is Mazzy Star. Cool. Glad you like it. How the fuck do I play this? Because I can dev here to get discards for chips. That would be 6. I don't know. So I'll try the X2 way. And I mean, if we both produce, and we both X2, I just lose, so that doesn't really work. Is this a Richard Cheese? Richard Cheese? I don't know who that is, but now I'm curious. Or is that a reference to last night's Richard? I'm guessing it's some singer, I don't know. Richard Cheese and Lounge Against the Machine is a cover band and comedy act, performing popular songs in this lounge swing style. Yeah, Mazzy Star is not super well known, I don't think. Reminiscent of Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Tony Bennett. I see, so that's what you have going or something. But yeah, so if I dev, I get 3, and then x2 for 6 is 9 to 28, and he goes to 29. So that doesn't really work. I mean, there's the delay, right? You gotta fight the combat the 12-second delay. It's gonna be hard. So I was probably slower, but the delay saved me. Cool. Interesting. I like lounge music. I don't know that much of it, or haven't found much of it. I feel like I want to try one. One of his and see. So we'll play the production world, pay 3. Oh, I have this too. Probably don't really care. Well, this 6 says we don't care about really. Something like that. Settle bonus was G-Fed. There's another windfall. He's gonna X2 for 6 here. It's a bit weird, but I think this is the play. We're in no devs in play. I'm not gonna hold on to G-Fed here. Whiff on the gamble. Now we can trade. Like produce just gives us a 4-point crank. And he only gets 1 windfall, so not that worried about that. Could also just dev. Oh, this is pretty good too. He's up by 5. You have to be careful here, like you need to gain there's no guarantee he's gonna produce her actually. Like when did he produce? Pretty sure I only had like this out or something. Let's check. So he did produce into Spice World, but yeah, he didn't produce into this. So I'm not sure he's going to produce here, which makes Dev a lot worse. He's likely to settle really. I don't know, I want to make sure. I could X2. Settle reaches naked trade. This is a long song. 7 minutes. I'm just gonna skip it. Got 5 minutes already. Like, what is he gonna do? It's hard to say. He could produce, he could naked trade, he could settle. I guess settle is his most likely play. If he settles, what do I want to do? Yeah, this is a good one if I remember this song. I'm surprised I don't have it actually. I might. Yeah, I have 4 of her albums, so I must have it. It did sound familiar. Basically, I just want to get the consume power out. So he explores, interesting. Discard 1. Play this. Pay 1, draw 1. This is just never going to happen at this point. Well, I guess bank doesn't really matter. Now he trades. Interesting. You're gonna start getting her stuff. You really like it. Nice. Yeah. She's. I'm pretty sure I found her because she's part of another band or something. Let me check. Can't remember how I found her, but I think it's from another band. She like collaborated with or something. Dream pop, neo psychedelia, psychedelic folk, alt country. And no, I did not find her from another band, I don't think. Oh, I did. Her name is Hope Sandoval, and she's in another band, Hope Sandoval and the Warm Inventions. That's where I found her initially. It's dream pop as well, kind of slowcore, psychedelic folk, contemporary folk. I think I'm just gonna put that on next, just to refresh my memory. Yeah, this is a really, really good song. So he's gonna trade. I should probably produce. Right, I leech the consume, produce a 6-point engine. And he leeches nothing on produce, so this has to be the way to play this. And if I get lucky on this, I can actually leech a Merchant Guild. I do not. So I X2, I catch up to him. If he produces, I just X2 again, so this is a pretty good position. He has 6 cards in hand though, so if he devs, it sucks. He settles. Yeah, Magistar is her solo band name, I think. Or, is it solo? I guess it's not, because she'd be using her actual name. Magistar is a band with a whole bunch of people. David Roback, Sue Key Ewers, William Cooper, Jill Emery, Keith Mitchell. So yeah, Magistar is one of her bands. I think it's probably her main band. Maybe not. I mean, it could be Hope Sandoval and the Warm Inventions that's her main band, since her name's in it. Those are her 2 bands, basically. I don't think she has any solo stuff. So, settle X2. Yeah, sounds like it is, right? Not sure how to play this, so we're not going to be really drawing cards, so playing anything here commits to not getting this out, which is kind of unfortunate. This is a 3-point play though, so it basically catches up to it, so it's gotta be worth it. So play this, pay 2. Probably like that. What do you settle? Nothing. So he's up by 1 now. Up by 1, hand sizes are identical. I have an 8-point engine. He has a 4-point engine on a produce, if he produces. I can leech the 8-point engine. I mean, this can't be bad position. He devs, so... So this is Hope Sandoval and the Warm Inventions. One point for 3 cards. Game ends next round. I crank for 8 to 25, 26. He needs 8 points. I mean, there's no way he can win. Might as well just play it. Get an extra point. X2, he X2s, can't win. So this band will probably have a little bit different flavor. But still good. So yeah, win by 5. Two-player win. 26-21. Seven and 0. Interesting opening. I actually played a Windfall voluntarily. And then just force out the consume powers. You just played a bunch of Windfalls. We'll just go again. All things being equal, these are the discards. Not the best opening, but not the worst. Both of these cards are almost unplayable in opening hand. Base game. Nearly. I think this is the way to go. Not sure of the best play here. Settle. Keeping public works. Produce trade is slow, but it's profit. Two-player advances at a snail's pace. Like, holy fuck. So what feels really slow might not be that slow. Like settling this, producing trading. It's probably better than just explore. I mean, I don't care about this card nor this card, so I'm fine settling here. I guess I could make it produce, but that's super risky and definitely not worth with such a shitty settle. Yeah. Oh, we have dev combos. We might dev here. Might actually be worth exploring. In this particular case, we don't need this consume power though. I don't know. Explore dev. Because produce trade is slow. This also gives us a chance to leech a settle if he settles here. Just gonna close my eyes and explore. And now we produce, I guess. Because at least now we can leech the dev. And trade. This 2 settles so bad. Although these, I mean, this is garbage. Trade. So now what? No production worlds, but we could get one out with a dev. Dev. Get this out. Slow as fuck, but I mean, our devs are good, so I don't know. I feel like this is good enough to try and get an advantage, but he settles immediately. So we could go all in, chucking these, play this, and then hope to get 2 more military. Pretty sure I've discarded. No, I was gonna say pretty sure I discarded Space Marines this game, but I don't think that's the case. Is this worth it? I mean, it's the only way we get a production world out, so I guess it must be. Feels so wrong. This feels wrong, yeah, a lot of this feels wrong, so I think it's worth it for this, but this is like whatever. And this we don't need, so we can keep the devs. It's such a huge investment for a production world. Basically, this is like a 5-cost, 1-point production world with no power. Especially if we discard this way. If we get Space Marines, the 5-3 and 7-7 is amazing. So it seems a waste to just throw them. Basically, chances of playing these versus this. I mean, these aren't that good here. We're already playing a dev, so they are even worse than usual. Or they lose a little value. So I guess I'll go like that. It's the thing is, it's so unlikely that this pays off, but it's not like we're sacrificing that much, I guess. So another windfall. So now we kind of have to like produce trade. It's so slow. Round 6, so round 7 trade, so round 8 we join the game. I mean, it's a 4-point engine. So it is something. I guess he traded there. No. What? He X2'd. Wow. Interesting. Guess he'll do that again. Maybe. So is it worth to start just X2ing here? 4-point no card engine. My gut says that no, it's not good enough. But it's possible that it is. He'd be at 13, sum down by 3. Produce X2, produce X2. It's so fucking bad and slow. I don't think that's gonna win. We can try it later, but I'm gonna trade. So no military. There's a shitty windfall. We have a windfall at least now to increase our engine to 6. So I guess I'll produce the X2 again. Wow. Interesting. Just solo X2ing these dinky windfalls. And he's gotten 6 points out of it, so he's gotten more chips than we have. Even if I get 4 here. Well, he settles, so I'll get 6. But he's probably getting 1. Pay 1. I think this is where we chuck the military path. Actually, I should probably... yeah, I just got a -1 as well. So now what? So we're down by 3. He doesn't have any production leech, so... maybe... settle's not what I wanted to see here. Right, X2 and he X2s, the game does not end, at least. But he'll be at 22 and I'll be at 20. He settles. Pretty awkward. So he's up by 3. And now he has a better engine than me, so he can just produce himself and just crush me. I could dev to leech his produce if he does produce. I have no idea if he will produce here though. If I dev and we both X2, let's say he passes on dev, then I lose by 2, so I can't even really do that. If I dev settle, I go to 25, 26, 27, and he goes to 29. Assuming he passes everything, so I lose that way, guaranteed. So I might have to assume he's not going to produce here to be able to have any chance of winning. And I produce myself and leech something from him. Because I mean, there is some chance he's not going to produce just because AI's played a little bit randomly. So I'm going to have to pray he doesn't produce here, but it looks like he does. Yeah. Played correctly, and I can't win if he does. So now what? We both X2, I lose. Well, I guess if nobody consumes, I could theoretically. So I guess I should dev in a vacuum. Yeah, obviously doesn't work. But in some theoretical way it might have worked. Worked better than guaranteed losing. Although I guess if I X2 and he doesn't, hold on. Did I do that wrong? If ever he doesn't X2 here and I do, then I go to 26 and he goes to 26. So that was probably the theoretical way to win this. Because he only has 3 cards. I don't think it works actually. Because he would beat me on tie breaks. Even if he explores, he would beat me on tie breaks. If he produced, he would beat me on tie breaks. if he traded, the only way that I would win if I x2, I think, is if he traded, which is a nonsensical play. So, finally lost. So 2-player AI can win. I guess we'll see if I can win somehow. I mean, this was a pretty bad hand, but let's be real here. Maybe like trying to force that military. Because like once I commit to this thing, to get so little out of the investment is pretty bad. So here I did what? X2'd. Here I reduced. So what if I don't produce here? I trade here. Produce the round before. So this is the round where we commit to that, which is fine. Play that. And I produce. What if I don't produce? I mean, I have to produce. So produce and then trade is fine. This is where we can deviate. Instead of producing, trying to keep track of this nonsense. So build them, produce, trade. Now we explore +5. Okay, well there's Space Marines. And he didn't settle, so that's good. So now we have a dev. There's a settle. So we'll see how this goes. Now we can trade and leech this. Pretty sick. The timing of all that was amazing. And he's still ahead though. We have a good settle. Nothing special for devs. Couple good settles. And engine-wise, we have a better, slightly better engine. Oh, actually, quite a bit better engine now. 6-point engine, so we definitely produce here. Hope he settles. Sadly, he devs. This gets us a card back. Go to 4. I'm not sure the best play here, but I'll play this. It might be Colony Ship that would work out better. Settle X2. I guess we're perfect. Wow, we have NGO. Wait a second. Maybe I was supposed to play this different. When I have NGO here, shouldn't I be trading, not X2ing? Almost certainly. Trade that, get 2 points. And dev. Although we don't have a settle now. But I mean, we're ahead, so yeah. Dev has to be good here. Looks like we should win. Play this, and if he passes, we just get a free build. A5. Now we're up by 11. We can just keep pushing out builds. I mean, if he... I mean, he could win. Let's say he devs and leeches a settle. What's the worst case scenario? He has 3 military. He could play the 7. He could play the 6/6. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15. So he'd go to 40. So he actually could win, theoretically. He plays SETI. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Plus 3, 2 or something. Maybe 13, 14, 15, still 40. So there's some combinations that he can win with here if I settle. What if I dev? If I dev, I don't think I can lose. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Because then he can't leech to settle. So yeah, if I dev, it's just a free build here. I'd have to pass on it. 4, 5, 4. Can't play this ever. So if he ends it, there's 9 cards minus 7 to 2. We would tie if he has SETI. 37, 37. But I can play this to guarantee to win against SETI. So yeah, I guess I just do this. So another free build. So now it continues to be the same thing. Except that now I'm 1 up on SETI if he plays it. But he could leech a dev and play call settle. So I can lose now. This is so fucking weird. So now I produce? I guess now I produce. Really strange. Round 16. We both produced. I mean, I'm gaining on him here, so that can't be bad. We both x2. And then now I guess I just produce again. Because how can you win? We both produce, I guess. That's funny. And then x2. And he settles now. This was what? This was committing to military, and I found the Space Marines I needed, so it's pretty lucky. And I win by a lot because of it. Also drawn Geo, which is amazing. The other way to play that was to discard differently. So we play this and then keep the devs. So 1, 2, 3. Settle that to now maybe explore to leech a dev. And just dev, dev, dev. I doubt this is going to work out, but I'm trying it. Produce trade, maybe? I mean, produce trade gets me what? 4 cards for 2 actions, 2 per action. Dev gets me 2 cards for an action. Guess we'll try it this way. Way behind. Crank for this, not for the same amount. Continue to dev, I guess. I don't know. Play this and that. Might be doing okay now, so x2 I think. strategically better because we already have a windfall. Now produce because we have a 8-point engine. He has a 4-point engine. Play that because we draw. And then x2, potentially final round, but probably not. x2 trade. Up by 2 only. And he's gonna gain maybe 1 here. We could dev, which would be pretty damn good. And then we could leech a settle, so I think we can discard 2 here and still do that. 3, 4, 5, 6, minus 2, down to 1, draw to 2, and then leech this. So yeah, that works. Should be good enough to win. 6-point dev. 35-27. So, interestingly, we found the one way out of 3 to lose. Basically, either keep the dev cards and spam them out, or keep the military cards and dig for a dev to play them, rather than keeping the military cards and not digging. But I mean, it doesn't mean that much though. It's all about the order of the deck. One replaying. Alright, next game. Trade League, Public Works, Great World, OK World, OK World. Don't need this because we have so many consume powers. So I'm pretty sure this is how we keep. Trade League with this, theoretically okay. So keep like that, and then what? We could settle hoping he produces, and then just chuck everything. That's arguably the best play. Because we don't really need Public Works, we already have 2 consume powers. Trade League is the only thing that hurts to lose here. Which we might get to keep if he explores. Although explore is fairly unlikely. How much do I care about Trade League? I mean, Trade League with Alert is pretty nice too. I think it's probably worth it to explore here to be able to hold on to Trade League. So... it doesn't really matter what we keep here, because we're settling. Wow, easy fucking game. Kind of have to produce, because we get 5 cards for 2 actions. Like, he shouldn't be producing, but if he does produce, it's really gonna suck. Doesn't at least. I guess we pass on this, I think. So 3, 4, trade to 8. Which actually does work. So we trade to 6. Or hold on. Yeah. So we could dev that immediately after. So I guess we'll play it. Settle trade. And then dev. Although this means we can't produce, so maybe it wasn't correct, I'm not sure. Not a whole lot else going on. Well, he does produce, so that's really nice. That should be good enough for a win here. We could produce, but it's possible that he is sure will produce, or sorry, will consume because it's so strong, and therefore he's going to produce here. It doesn't really make sense in 2-player though, because if I'm consuming and he's producing, he's only gaining a chip and a card. It's not like there's two opponents where one can build to give him more consume powers and the other one can consume. So I don't think produce makes sense here for him. But that doesn't mean he won't do it. So basically he should be trading or settling. It looks stupid if he settles, that's for sure. So I think I explore here. Or consume. I mean, consuming can't be bad. Force it to happen. If he also trades, that's fine. Trade X2 have no difference here. Exploring doesn't even guarantee to settle each anyway. Very curious to know if he's going to trade here. There's no guarantee he will. So I guess I have to do it. Yeah. Okay, well he doesn't have consume power. Trade power. Wow. It's only going to take one card for him to just run away with this game. Producing 4 worlds. I have 1. I don't really even want to produce it to him. I could settle here. Leeches consume. That actually isn't bad. Makes this cheaper. Settle, leeches consume, settle, settle. Leeches consumes, dev. I think I'm gonna settle here. He settled, what? In that case, maybe I play this one first. Play Producing Worlds. Good, Windfall doesn't do shit. I think we, whoops, go like this. And settle again for this. Leeches consume. There it is. Diversified not that good here with all blue browns. It's gonna be hard to get that third color. We don't really care, we have tons of consume powers. Tons of draw. Trade good. Alright, well so now what? There's that third color. Not great devs, but it's still 3 points. Bunch of random production worlds. He still has no consume power, so that's the only reason why he's not crushing us here. He has 1 consume power. Yeah, I'm just reminded that I wanted to look into maybe getting what's that game called? Tabletop Simulator. Just, or at least looking into see what's available on there. There's a couple of cool games that I think could be good for the community. Like One Night Ultimate Werewolf, if it's available on there. It'd be a cool game to play on stream. It's like a bluffing game. There's like werewolves, hidden werewolves and stuff, hidden roles. You want that too, yeah. Tabletop Simulator. There's tons of games on there. It's just a question of whether they have any of the simple, really amazing games that I think would be good for the Seasters. Because Robin's not super into like the heavy stuff. But I think Werewolf would be an amazing one for them to try out. That'd be pretty cool if it's available. Access Analysis is available. Yeah, that's not surprising, but yeah. We've got to get Robin into Access Analyze. That'd be fun. She'd flip the table within 30 seconds. Tons of games, yeah. I just haven't really looked into what actually is available. Because I mean, theoretically every game could be in there for all I know. It just takes one person to make each one, right? takes someone to care enough to make it. So, what now? Theoretically settling. It's so weird. What are the scores? So I'm 10 to 12. He might consume again. I don't have any windfalls I can play though, actually. Unless I Devony settles, which doesn't make sense anyways, because then he's not trading. He's not going to be trading here anyway. In all likelihood, he should be producing. So I should probably be settling. He devs. Interesting. Not sure if all the extra games cost money though. I don't think they do. But maybe some do. I don't know. Maybe some of the games, if they're licensed or something, you have to pay for them. But I suspect that they're all free. Whatever's there is there. You just have to buy the tabletop simulator itself. And then if a game is in there that an original company doesn't want, they could get them to take it off or something. I doubt. It's possible some are monetized. Who knows? But yeah, I'm pretty clueless. Because yeah, all they had on there, at least when I saw them playing, was they were like looking at chess and checkers and all the super basic stuff. And there's some way better simple games out there nowadays, rather than those boring abstract games. They just don't know about them. So theoretically play this. First page has Clue, yeah, like games like that, right? There's none of them cost anything, right? Those are all fine, but for people that don't know, like in the board game community, there's been like a whole explosion of amazing board games in the past like 15, 20 years. And like Clue and Monopoly are basically laughed out of the building at this point. There's just no comparison. There's some incredible games, like really simple ones too. They're not super widely known. They're widely known among board game players, but not a lot of them are mainstream. The really popular ones like Catan and Carcassonne are known in the mainstream, but there's lots of other ones too. Okay, if I play this, I go to 8, play this. He didn't produce. 8, play this, go to 3, 4. I could also play Space Marines into this or something. Doesn't seem that great. Although I wouldn't mind being able to have access to a windfall in case he consumes. I mean, this can't be bad to play, to start with. So we'll just start with that. And probably just dump the big yellows. Cards Against Humanity's there, yeah, that's not too bad. But that's another one that's like, there's way better games than that are similar. Like, one that comes to mind is Dixit. That was really damn cool. That's probably on there. Catan, yeah, no surprise at all that Catan's on there, for sure. But yeah, like even Catan nowadays is a little bit, it's kind of like Monopoly in the sense that there's way, way better games, but it's a good intro game for people, for sure. It's basically what I started with when I restarted playing board games like 10 years ago. So Settle, I could play Artist Colony. Like, what do we have here? We have an engine, so maybe that's why he's not producing. Oh my god, Merchant Guild, are you kidding me? He has no cards in hand at least. So what's he gonna do next round? Produce, I guess. So I guess I want to play a cheap production world. And then Settle again. If he doesn't produce, that's probably fine. I mean, this isn't doing all that much though. It leeches. I would have 4 leeching worlds. Maybe I just skip to this. Go to 5. And see from there. No, I think it's probably fine. I guess it depends on my settle bonus, so I should probably play this first. Because that's what I'd play next round anyways. Paying for... really need this. How do I ever end up playing this? I don't, is the answer. So keep like that. I mean, it's possible that he trades and never produces, in which case I do want this. I'm not sure. And then probably settle. So I'd have 4 producing worlds, 4 consume. There's no cards in hand, so I mean, it's the only way to gain any points on him. Pay 1. So, now what? He's only up by 3. If I x2, I mean, if he x2s and I x2, I surpass him and draw a ton of cards. So x2 seems pretty good. I'm scared that he's gonna like play Diversified or something, or like Pilgrimage World. He's drawn 4 random cards. What are the odds that he drew one of those? Pretty low. I mean, I've discarded a Diversified Economy as well, I'm pretty sure. So I guess I'd just x2 here. I can Leech Dev or settle comfortably. So if he does have Pilgrimage World, actually I should be fine. If he has Diversified Economy, also not bad, because I can crank for 8 if I want. Okay, well he trades. So my best good is probably the blue one, 8. Blue or brown are the same. Discard 3 at end of round. A whole lot of stuff I'll never play. 1, 2, 3. Close enough. So we're up by 2 now. He has a full hand, so it's a little bit scary. And producing doesn't do that much, because he can't both get a build phase out and get rid of his goods in a consume. So we don't have a good dev leech, which is the problem here. So I feel like I'm going to find myself replaying this in 5 minutes and explore +5ing here to leech his dev. So certainly play that. We both get 3 points out of the phase, and he's going to crank for 8 next round, and me 6. So I think we're still okay, or close. Pay 2, so I don't need 2 of these devs anymore. Actually, this was also a 3-point dev, but it's the same next round anyway. Pay 2. So, we're up by 2. If we x2, if we both x2, he has 9 cards in hand, which is scary, but yeah, he gets 8 to 32, I get 6 to 32, his tie breaks are 9, my tie breaks are more. So if we both x2, I win. So that's the good news. However, if he devs, I mean, I have to x2 basically because of that reason. There we go. Nice. Basically, if he had a good 6 dev, he could dev it and then we'd maybe be in trouble. Like if he plays Free Trade Association here, it's 7 points. And now we get 3 out of the dev, so he gets 7 plus 4 is 11. So he'd go to 35. And I would go to 26, 7, plus 8, 35. So I beat him on tiebreaks anyway. Trade good. Wow, by one tiebreak it looks like. Jeez. Holy crap. It's as close as it gets without tying. I guess I can get closer if I have like 7 goods and he has 6 goods, but or whatever. So squeak by on that one. My tie breaks were 10 plus 1. His were 9 plus 1. And I can mess around with replay a little bit. Oops. So like I was saying, but I actually won, but let's see if I score plus 5 instead. To find a dev on this round, just for shits and giggles. Free trade is okay. Gives us a 10-point crank. Base 6. Produce, presumably. Although, now he can X2, that's kind of scary actually. Do we even win? If I produce X2, 37, he gets 38. Huh. He wins by 1. So that's interesting. Could also settle, produce, settle. If I settle, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go to 34, he goes to 30 plus his 2 settles. Ugh. I don't think I win, but we'll try it. He explores here rather than X2ing? Holy fuck. He has 6 free points just sitting here. I mean, they're still sitting there, to be fair. Play the bigger one, I guess. By doing it this way, there's no way we can get to this, I don't think. Either way, this, I mean, we could, but it's super convoluted, so we'll play the better scoring one. Pay 2. Draw 1 to 4. 3, 2, 1, 2. So that's perfect. Settle again, see what happens. So what did he settle? A 5-point settle, yeah, like. I mean, we still could win. This is a 3-point settle if he passes. Probably gonna explore. Oh yeah, no, he X2s, of course, yeah. It's obviously terrible. So if I had produced after this, since he does an X2, let's see how that goes. It's probably gonna win. This should win, right? Yeah, I'm cranking for 10. The game ends if he cranks. Yeah, interesting. Because he made the wrong play, playing differently was correct, but it's hard to predict that. Impossible almost. Because the AIs usually play pretty well. I think that's enough replays for that. Play maybe one last game. So, brown, amazing with this. The rest doesn't really matter. Maybe like that. Trade, we can leech a dev. And then go to 4, which is enough for this to settle round 2. That's crazy. Not that it's all that likely he'll dev here, but if he does, it's amazing. Magic Star is nice, you know her? Nice. Cool, man. Gotta chat in chat in case he's only in chat. How does Javard know all these good bands? How? Or better question, I guess, is how is it that he? Well, it's not a better question, but it's funny that he likes a lot of the same music that some of us do. So he's settled, so that's awkward. Not that card. And now we kind of want to settle till he just produce. Oh no, we can dev as well. That also works. This way I can. Holy fuck! Lots of brown worlds. Now I just need mining conglomerate or something. He doesn't produce here. That's mind-boggling. I guess he wants to leech dev or settle or something. Choose one to discard. This actually lets us get to this thing, but we need consume powers more than anything. So we're gonna play a bunch of brown worlds. So we'll start with this, although, well, it's too late now, but well, this is a replay, right? Pretty sure it's not a replay. Okay, never mind. So I already saw he pass, so I'll just stick with this. But I might have not played it because he didn't produce, so I don't need it. I still need it actually, so I'd still play it. Pay 1 is actually pretty good with no consume powers, so I might just chuck the military thing. All the rest is kind of playable. Don't really care about military that much. Now we would settle. There's the produce. Go to settle, settle. Have you heard anything about Oxbow? Did a crazy spit take today, seeing they had released a new album. No, I've come across the name a couple times in my researches over the years, but I don't think I've ever ended up trying them. Oh, actually I do. I have one song from them off of a compilation on Neurot Recordings. I'm kind of curious to try it right now just to see. But no, not an uber fan of Oxbow. Don't know them. So what am I settling here? This is a 1-2, so good. I could settle this, then this. So I have 6 cards, 5, 4, 5, down to 1. I'm not sure I like that actually. Just play the amazing brown worlds. So like this into this, into trade or something. It's a bit crazy, they're hard to one song, right? Yeah, I haven't tried an album. Not really sure the best way, but I mean, this can't be bad. What the fuck, we draw Mining League? So lucky. In that case, we'd probably just trade. We can even leech or settle reasonably well. What the fuck is this song? Time's up, Sailor Man. Oh, meanwhile, he has a pretty sick board. Jesus Christ. But yeah, we have to trade to get this stuff out, basically. Yeah. Not what you're expecting to hear when you're listening to like typical, whatever, like extreme metal, random genre of extreme metal, random ass lyrics like that. So if I dev, go down to 2. He's very likely to produce, so if I settle, what happens? Cost me 3. So I'm short a card to play this. If I trade, I overflow. But then I could just dev this. Go to 4, which is enough for that to then settle. I think I'm just going to trade here, interestingly. And then dev. Just consume. So pay 5. We're producing theoretically 4 goods. We need another consume power, so I guess we'll do like that. Consume on there. Although now I'm just settling anyways. Probably dumping my hand. He has 9 cards in hand. How does this work? I probably just play this and then move on. Like, it's 3 producing, 3 consumption. All brown, great combo. If he produces here, it's insane. He might not, though. Maybe I just produce myself, actually. Why am I not producing here? Just produce, eventually he'll settle. And it just gets even worse for him. So we must pass until he settles. What the shit? Well, there's a settle. And hopefully this is enough. 2 more cranks, so 3 rounds. We're up by 8 already. So we're going to be up by 24. He needs to make up 24 points in 3 rounds. I'm pretty sure we're okay. Oh, there's 1 step. He needs 16 now. Or 15. Another 5 points, so it needs to make up 10 now. 9. Oh, there's another 5, 6, 7 points. So we win by 2 maybe? Jesus Christ. Holy fuck. Barely win with this insane board. That is scary. Yeah, I mean, this opening is crazy. Jeez. So, 2-player win. 38-36. So 9 wins, 1 loss total. Not too shabby. Might play 1 more here, actually. I don't think there's much to replay here, so just go again. Rebel stuff. This is pretty bad opening hand. No producing worlds whatsoever. So we're almost only going to be explore +1/+1ing to find other cards. Definitely have to keep this. I don't know about this rebel combo being of much value, although we have a military homeworld. This is a playable world, so we have to keep that just in case. So we keep 2 of these other 4 cards. This could be worth. Probably this and this. Not really keen on this thing. Base game opening hand, like there's no way. 6 cost. Contact Specialist, kind of redundant. It's not redundant if we draw a 2/2 uplift though, that's the problem. So it's probably actually better to keep this than this, to be honest. Yeah, that's definitely better. Pretty happy with that. Well, not happy, but that is the best way to play that, I think. Now we certainly explore +1/+1, and don't find a settle. Or at least not a good one. This one's okay. So we're going to be playing Outlaw World, so we'll have 2 consume powers, no production. Might want to keep this as a possibility. Not sure. There's a nice windfall. Not the best one, but one of the better ones. Gonna have to +1 again. Hope he doesn't settle. Wow. Drawing all the dev strat devs. That's interesting. And he's just settling away. So do we start deving now? Dev, draw 1 to 6. Dev to 0. He's not going to explore at any point. So I think we do it one more time. Settle again. Well, this is a good settle. It's a good dev. So we might deviate here and just produce trade. The thing is, he's not going to go engine, so production will is not as valuable. But this thing... I'm not sure what the best way to play this, but I'm going to go this way. Pay 3. Probably that way. And produce. Settles again. 4 rounds in a row, that's insane. Not sure if this is worth playing. It does give us a 4.3 card engine, which is actually pretty good. I guess I do. So pay 2. Could do like this instead. So we're going to draw a decent amount here. Decent. 2, 4, 5, 6. So there's some value to this, whereas this is like kind of whatever. Like how likely is it that he devs all that much anyways? Looking at what Tabletop Simulator Lookins... Yeah, we were talking about it. I mentioned that I wanted to look into it, because there's a bunch of amazing board games nowadays that people don't really know about. So like Robin and them were looking at like checkers and chess and puzzles and shit. But there's some super simple, really good games that exist now that are almost certainly on that site. So I was thinking about using it, or looking into it. Yeah, Wilkins was talking about it too. Thinking you'd like to get tit. Yeah, wouldn't we all? Nice. Nice Freudian slip. Yeah, I think this is probably how I keep here. Yeah, seems fine. There's a lot of upside. And then now we just start X2ing. Well, I could trade. Go to 7. And that'd be 6-5, and then enough-ish to get that out later. Or I can just go the long way and just X2 produce, X2 produce. I mean, I'm drawing tons of cards. I think X2's got to be good here. So I can either trade and get 4 cards in a chip, or I can X2 and get 4 points and 2 chips, or 4 points and 2 cards. So that seems good. What? That's a bit scary. Now we can x2, or x2 for 4, and then x2 for 4. So it's like an 8-point engine, so I can't even produce anymore, I don't think. Yeah, it's okay. It is okay. Especially if you know people that have it. Yeah, I almost got it last year, but it didn't have built-in AI. Does it now? I don't think it does. It'd be cool if companies would or could do official mods for Tabletop Simulator. Yeah, definitely. A lot of yeah, definitely. That's what I'm worried about. It's like a lot of them just seem to be really just thrown together. Like for example, there is a Race for the Galaxy on there, and I mean it looks okay, but it's not comparable. I would never willingly play that version unless it was the only way I could play with certain people or something. But that's not the case since this is online. So, but I don't know if I should be judging Tabletop Simulator by their implementation of Race for the Galaxy, because there's better games suited to it. Or, I mean, other games that are better suited to it. No AI, I think, yeah. It'd be cool if they could include that. That's the thing, right? It's like, I'm pretty sure they're all manual in the sense that you have to do everything when you're playing the game. So there's no logic and stuff like that. So that's the one downside. Also part of the reason why I didn't buy it until this point. But there's some games that are... It's mainly because of Robin's stream. So like, there's a few games that I was thinking that they would love and would be cool to introduce them to, that are very simple and would be very simple in that program, and I'm sure they're there, and it would be really fun. Good stream games, basically. Could write really, really bad AI. So you can actually put AI into that thing. Random place. So yeah, so can I produce now? So let's say I produce and he just x2s and then x2s, I x2. So he's at 18, I'm at 12. And there's 6 chips in the pool. And then I produce an x2 again, we both get 4. So I just get massacred. This is so fucking awkward. How did this happen? Trendsetters. You love Access and Eyes, but don't know anyone to play with, right? The video game is way too old and doesn't support netplay. Could play that way at least. Interesting. I wonder how good it is on Tabletop Simulator. That seems like the kind of game that might be just a complete clusterfuck, but I don't know. No idea. So yeah, now that this guy blocked produce, I have no idea what to do. Now I wish I had traded, but there's no way to know that in advance. And I don't know how to get out of this predicament. Dev, explore, dev. That doesn't even work, does it? Dev, explore, dev does work to get this out. But it's so slow. I mean, he might produce because he has a decent engine, in which case I could trade and get some cards. The only real exposure to it is a bunch of weirdos putting a puzzle together. Yeah, pretty much. Me too, actually. I barely know anything. It's a lot of assumption, basically, that I've done, but based on some pictures. That's the most that I've seen it played, was when they played the puzzle games and played Chinese checkers. Flipping the table, always super tempting. Yeah, I wonder how that works. Could you... Because, I mean, that's a problem, obviously, if anybody can do it at any time. It's more of a risk thing. You need to have your friends close by so you can fight, right? Yeah, there's no repercussions. We can't get at them if they table flip. Risk would be fun too. Oh, Risk, the actual game. Yeah, that's another one of those old school games that was great at the time, but it's kind of outdated nowadays. Still fun, obviously. A lot of those old games, just like, they're never ending. They last too long, which is one of the main improvements in the modern board games. Most games are, you know, like an hour at most, or at least the best ones, or like 2-3 hours at the very most for the great games. Pretty much a kiddies game, right? So yeah, I can't produce. I guess I have to dev, explore, dev. Actually, I could explore dev. And just skip on this thing. That doesn't really make sense though. I mean, explore can't be bad if he doesn't x2 here, but he must x2. Explore dev. Wow, he actually devs here. That's crazy. So definitely explore was better. Flipping the table, fighting because of stuff happening in a risk game, he meant. Flipping the table, always super tempting. That's more of a risk thing. I see. The game risk. But you need to have your friends close by so you can fight. Right. But yeah, no, I'm wondering about the table flipping in the actual tabletop simulator, right? Can it only be done when the game's over? I don't think that's the case, because they were flipping the Chinese checkers board in the middle of nowhere. Like in the middle of the game. So very interesting that he devs here with no hand, 2 cards. You can do it at any time. Is there any way to like block it so that nobody can do it? There must be. I mean, it's kind of game breaking. You can do settings for all those permissions, right? Makes sense. Because yeah, if you had one person, the wrong kind of person or whatever, they could just fuck everything up every time. I mean, obviously, they do it once and you would know, but that once is more than enough. It's like 4 hours into an Axis, like Mr. Wilkins' first Axis and Allies games, and some guy table flips. How brutal would that be? Yeah, exactly. 2 hours into the game, has somebody flip table. Right. But yeah, I do want to look into it when I get a chance. So, he devs. So, presumably we start with this. Surely. Huh, got this too. It's possible there's a way to win this game now. Maybe. Interesting that he plays this, so now he's going to crank for 6. Interesting / scary. Pay 1. Now dev. Then I can dev this. So it's something. I could also just... No, I can't play this yet. You lose it, yeah. You just look at table flip and surrender and consider it a win. Disable it. What's up, Roto? So dev, he does x2, unsurprisingly. A lot of Netrunner stuff? Nice. Yeah, I never played Netrunner back in the day. I wanted to try the new one, because it's super popular, people love it. But nobody ever ended up teaching it to me, so I didn't play. So yeah, presumably dev here. And he should probably be producing. This doesn't look great to me. Deving this is 6 points, I go to 16. He's cranking to 24. I trade. I'm down by 8. He produces. I'm down by 14. So I need 14 points out of a few builds. I don't know though, I don't see any other way. Wow, he doesn't produce here, Jesus Christ. Back when you were at Kid Games, came with manuals to tell you how to play the game. Yep, pretty much. It's a pretty recent phenomenon that they didn't. Well, I mean, they still do, but you can play them online now. So here... Probably doesn't matter too much. So funny that he didn't produce. This gets me more plus look. I could just spam out devs because he's not doing anything. So just cycle through this and try and get both of these out for 6 and 6. I could play this. It's actually not bad here. I'm gonna play this. Just cycle that and then dev again. Okay, well now he does produce. I have no way to get any draw out of that, so I'll probably just play this because it's better, and keep one card. That's why Insane likes you. You make him a kid. Probably subconsciously. I mean, I don't even know how old you are. I know how old roughly that you claim to be or seem to be or whatever, but I don't actually know how old you are. You could be a 20-year-old for all I know, or like a 14-year-old. Barely ahead of Nikki. So garbage. If I keep this, I could X2 next round and then probably have enough cards to dev this, which might be enough to give him a run for his money. So we'll just go like that. Already at 3 cards. If I X2 and he X2s, he's at 25. He doesn't draw any cards, which is great. So basically, I can figure out his final score here. Nikki's younger brother Roto. Nice. Old farts come in handy, yeah. Make other people feel better. Young people too, right? Because everybody thinks they're mature and whatnot, so you feel all mature compared to the kids. Nobody wins, everybody loses. You were never a Nikki, you drew boobs, you had your parties straight, right? Okay, so if he X2 produce X2s, he's not going to gain any points other than his engine, basically. So 31 is his score. And my score in that situation is, if I X2, build X2 is 8 plus 5 is 13, 30. So I'm down by 2 points. So that's not good. So I would need to X2, dev, and then build. Build something worth 6. Which is problematic. X2, I go to 6 cards here. Dev, minus 5 to 1, 2. There's no way. I don't think I can win here. And if I trade, I get 5 cards and a chip. If I X2, I get 3 cards, 4 chips. I'm in X2, but I feel like trade might actually be correct, even though it's usually worse in this spot. I feel like this might be a special circumstance where it's the only way to win. Maybe. Maybe settling here first. You wish you were Nikki's brother if your parents had caught you using their credit card. Wait, what? Reading is hard. I wish I was Nikki's brother if my parents had caught me using their credit card. You think they're lenient? Is that what you're saying? Not a grade 6 dev. Good dev. Gets away with murder? Alright. Fair enough. If I settle, I can dev this, so I can go settle dev, but I mean it's... What is that even giving me? 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 31. So that actually ties him. And would I win on tie breaks? Looks like I would. So does settle dev actually win here? 4, 5, 0, 1, 2, 3. Oh, and I get an extra point too. Wow, looks like I actually found a way to win this. Okay, play settle. Dev. Wow, I actually won that game. That is insane. The power of builds and the weakness of no draw and consume engines. Wow, 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 wow. You'd be in a cemetery somewhere with Blob afraid to visit. Interesting win, that one. Unexpected. So 2-player win. 32-31. So 10-1 on the night. And that is definitely going to be it for my game of, or my night of race for the Galaxy. I got nothing done today, as usual, so I need to somehow try and get something done after. I need to basically set up for tomorrow's poker stream. I want to play real time, no delay, tomorrow morning, but I have to set up all my shit so that I'm hiding my cards on stream. And I had 3 days to do that, and I've gotten basically nothing done. So I have to now get that done tonight somehow in 2 hours, or even an hour. So yeah, good luck to me. But yeah, that's the goal. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. No delay poker stream. Oh yeah. But for right now, let's see if there's somebody to host. Somebody to put you guys to sleep. Or for you to click off immediately. Procrastination always makes life fun. Yeah, I'm an eternal procrastinator for sure. Danzig album, nice. Sounds familiar also. They've been making music all along. Yeah, dude, the years are flying by. I think you're missing albums. I mean, it's probably because of the number of bands you like. It's possible to keep up, especially if you don't have like a good site that like notifies you or something, which I don't really have myself. So what do we have here? Calm Before Scramble, what is this? Path to Diablo, Dr. Antisocial. Could be good. I can't remember if I've hosted him yet. I think I have actually, yeah. So you guys probably know about his stream at this point. Geek Tech Industries. D&D 5th edition. 2 dudes playing some new games. This guy, the thick guy. It's pretty funny actually, I might host him. I don't think I've showed you guys him yet. Let's see what these guys are up to though.
Trying to kill me. Range 2. Come on. Come on. Oh, target lock.
I think I'm gonna go with my
one hit. Oh,
thick buddy. Alright guys, it's gonna be it. Nice surprise, yeah, always. Dancing isn't exactly, but yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow morning, or like 5 p.m. CET. Thanks for tuning in and whatnot. Laters.